Welcome to another episode of the Meal Prep Monday podcast. I'm your host and founder of Prep Dish, Allison Schaaf. Today, I'm giving an update on what meals look like in the Schaaf household right now. Before getting into today's content, I have an email that I received from Prep Dish customer Stephanie. Stephanie says, I feel like the recipes have taught me how to cook, knowing which spices or subs I can make and feeling comfortable making changes to any recipes, but knowing that it will still taste good. It's exposed me to a lot of new foods and spices, which I love. I'm also really enjoying the optional protein boost in Superfast. Stephanie, thank you so much for sharing. And for those of you listening, the optional protein boost in Superfast she's referring to is our Superfast meal plans. All contain a 30 grams of protein per serving if you do the optional protein boost. So that must be what she is doing and referencing there. If you are listening to this and you've not tried our time-saving meal plans, you can head to prepdish.com/MPM, short for Meal Prep Monday, and try it for 2 weeks for free. If you want to do super fast, that's a great place to start. Those are our quick and easy, family-friendly meals. But we also have gluten-free, we have a low carb, we have paleo. So you can try all of those out. When you sign up, you get access to all of the different plans that we offer. So if you want to try it out, that's the best way. Is just give it 14 days and see how it works for you. Okay, so for today's episode, what I thought is just to give an update. What are meals looking like? What does meal prep look like? So for today's episode, my goal is to answer how I'm ordering groceries. Am I prepping ahead? Which plan, if any, am I using? And if I'm using Superfast, am I doing the protein boost or not? So, okay, let's get into it. So first of all, half of the time I am testing meal plans. So our meal plan creator, after she creates the Superfast plan, she kind of divvies them up and someone on the team receives it to test it out in real life, to make notes, to adjust, cooking times or quantities and all of those things. Like we are actually making these meals. So some weeks I am doing that. And I'm usually doing Superfast. So when I'm testing, I'm doing that. When I'm not testing, I am still doing Superfast. I like that the Superfast is 5 dinners, and they just seem to work best for our family right now. So how am I ordering groceries? I was talking to a friend the other day, and she goes in person to grocery shop, and she's like, I don't see how you aren't picking out your own fruits and veggies. And I will say, and especially when I'm doing testing, there will be times where they give me the wrong thing, or they'll say, like there was one recently where they didn't send the basil. And I had my husband, he was in town, and I had him stop by the same store where I'd ordered, and they did have basil, but I think they didn't have the exact one I ordered. So sometimes they either won't make the subs or the sub isn't right. But for the most part, I feel like ordering the groceries online, it gets me 95% of the way there. Some weeks, 100%. Like it's very minor. And the amount of time that it saves is so helpful that yes, I'm ordering my groceries online all of the time. I'm not doing the in-person shopping. That's just kind of how my schedule is these days. Am I prepping ahead? That is still kind of week to week, but I am doing a lot of doing the meal, like at one meal, maybe doing the meal prep for a few meals. But I do find that my meal prep is almost always backed against the first meal of the week, right? Like I'm not doing the prep on Saturday and starting on Sunday. If I'm starting the meal plan on Sunday, I'm doing the meal prep right before that first dinner. And while I'm making that dinner, I'm prepping ahead some of the other items for later that week. Sometimes the entire kind of prep day list. Sometimes I'll do half at one meal and half at another. It just kind of depends. But yeah, it's some sort of combo. And then, as I mentioned, Superfast plan, that's the one I'm doing. And am I adding the protein or not? So this refers to Superfast. We have one vegetarian meal each week, which I know some customers absolutely love. And then other customers really want to make sure they are getting 30 grams or more of protein per serving at their dinners. And so we also have the option to add some meat to that vegetarian meal to make it a high protein meal. I am opting for the high protein, but again, we're keeping it with one vegetarian option each week so that those customers that want a vegetarian meal each week can do that. And for those who are really prioritizing protein, they can add protein to that meal. But in my house, it's the protein. And then I was just going to walk you through kind of the last 2 weeks, some of the meals that we've had. I thought it might be kind of fun to share. So I tested May week 4 for super fast. I had a shrimp, tomato, and zucchini over rice with basil sauce. I think that was the basil week I just referenced. There was a spring chicken salad over mixed greens, which was actually, it was really good. I was not expecting to like that one as much as I did. And then sweet potato, pinto bean, and kale over green salsa rice. So these are kind of like Mexican taco bowls or something. And those were quite tasty. Smoky ground beef wraps with lettuce, tomatoes, and avocados. And then grilled lamb chops with asparagus and summer squash. Those we did grill. And so as I'm recording this, it's January and we did this in January, but here in Texas, you can often still grill in January. So we were able to do that. And that was kind of fun. Brooke, I think we did that on the weekend and opened a nice bottle of red wine to go with it. And that was a nice special treat of a meal. And then the other week we did was May week 5, super fast. And there was a 1-pot salmon, rice, and asparagus. I love how easily this came together. The 1 pot was on the stove, but you just kind of cook everything, the rice, asparagus, and salmon all in that pot. And it was so nice that the cleanup, just 1 pot. There were pork tacos with pineapple salsa. This was good. I hadn't had pineapple salsa in a long time. So I enjoyed making that and having that. There was a veggie bolognese, although I did add some meat to that, but it was nice to have the bulky veggies in it to kind of make it more substantial and different from the typical pasta that we're having. There were teriyaki turkey burgers with cabbage and strawberries. These had a really nice flavor. That teriyaki sauce was quite nice. And then slow cooker garlic butter steak bites with potatoes and spinach. That was really good. I ended up doing that one on Sundays. So Sundays, what I have been doing, sometimes it correlates with the meal plans. Other times I come up just with my own recipe, but we go to church on Sunday mornings and we get back like right at lunchtime or even like 15 minutes past when we would usually start lunch. So everyone is starving. So I have just started on Sunday mornings before we leave. I always make sure to throw something in the slow cooker so that when we get home, lunch is ready to go immediately. And no one has to sit and wait and we can just start eating right away. That's worked out really well. Often, if I'm using a super fast plan, there is either a slow cooker or even just a soup recipe that I can make in the slow cooker. So I do that. If not, I just kind of come up with something to put in the slow cooker. But that has been a nice when the times shifted slightly on, the service in the church that we will go to. So, but having that ready to go when we get home has just been so helpful. So that's kind of one of my new hacks that I've been doing. Okay, that is what meal prep and planning and such looks like at the Schaaf household right now. I hope you found this helpful. Maybe you got some ideas or some inspiration. If you are wanting to try out our meal plans, again, it's prepdish.com/MPM. That'll be linked in the show notes if you want to try it out for 14 days free. If you're already a Prep Dish subscriber, just a reminder to, if you want to look at the different types of plans, you always have access to all of them. Even though I'm primarily using Superfast, depending on the week, sometimes I'll pull up a gluten-free plan or something else and use that if it sounds tempting for me for that week. So. Okay, that is all I have for this week. I will be back again next Monday with another episode.